Hulle weet nie wat ons weet nie. With us this morning, our podcast is They Don't Know What We Know. In Afrikaans, hulle weet nie wat ons weet nie. We've decided to do this podcast in English due to the demand in our English group of people. So we're going to try and pursue our English dialogue today in a more appropriate way so that everybody can understand what this is all about. So a very warm welcome to you as well, Aldila.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sushi. So please share with our viewers. Last week we spoke about trauma and what it does to your nervous system. Just to recap, we had our reptilian brain that's mostly affected. That's our fight or flight brain that pretty much catches a sort of a lock. So every time if you experience trauma, you will have a lock in your nervous system. And that lock can only be released through aromatherapy, you guys found, or released most effectively by using therapy, aromatherapy. And we're going to basically expand on that topic today in English. So I don't know if you want to just give us a brief introduction. And let's take it away.
So thank you. Trauma locks in the body in various ways. And my research and my PhD in what I've studied has allowed me to find a very easy, comfortable and pleasurable way to release trauma within the body. My way is not the only way, Francois. There are many ways and many modalities. I've just taken them all and I have integrated them into something that I have found the last 5 years in my practice have worked with my clients. They were all willing, I call them my diamonds, and they were all willing participants in the study. And with their help, I designed and developed this beautiful journey called Embark, which has 31 train stations, which is all, as you said, trauma types that lock in the body that we all typically go through in life. And I thought this picture would be very cute for this time of year, because when I saw it, I thought of a little gingerbread man for the Christmas season.
Okay.
So the research has shown in the years that I've done them that trauma locks in the body, and 90+% of all ailments and illnesses develop because of the emotional states. So in our 3 previous podcasts, which were very, very informative, I enjoyed it, everyone on the train enjoyed it, I explained very deeply how the brain works, how trauma locks, how the nervous system works, what is cortisol. The brain consists of various sections. So I want to start today just by making everyone aware that you have a body. And when you struggle with ailments like headaches, emotional flashbacks, fatigue, somatic flashbacks, your immune system is not working optimally, you are craving certain foods, some people get seizures, you have body issues, your movement, your memory, your digestion, chronic pain, dissociation, all of these things actually have an effect on the emotions, and your emotions can actually make you sick. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to explain to everyone how the emotions, how you can actually think yourself sick, first of all. And second of all, how trauma locks in the body. And if you do not address that trauma, Francois, your body will start screaming. That organ will start screaming. So I'd like to explain that to everyone.
Sure. So just to rectify, I can recall we spoke about where a lot of people has experienced that psychology or psychological verbal therapy pretty much were unsuccessful in certain traumas. That was but I guess we can just touch base with that a little bit later. So please take us through your flow of understanding, Peter. So take us through this flow of understanding of how this works.
So the easiest way, because my patients, when they come to me, I'd like to educate and empower. And not everybody has a medical degree. So I've tried to make it easy so that we can understand ourselves. When we understand our brains, our bodies, how it works, we can empower ourselves, those we love, and our children. Because the more empowered I am, the more I can help myself and those around me. So this is a very plain, simple diagram that I've chosen just to teach everyone the basic principle in understanding how my brain and my nervous system works. So you'll see there's a green area, which we call the neocortex. And that is the brain, that is your thinking brain. Francois, that is your brain that you love to use. You love to think, analytical. I have to explain everything to you. You explain it back to the viewers. I love your analytical side because most men and people like to understand something before they just do it. Myself and the female population seem to run mostly on the orange part. So that's called the limbic system, and that is the emotional brain. So that is the emotions. And I'm really going to stop at the station of emotions today because I would really like to address the children and the female psyche with regards to emotions, because you said something very powerful last week. You said there are a few things we must look at. I think you named 5 things where you said you must be healthy and your spiritual life and you must exercise. But the emotional aspect of one's life and of a person can actually ruin your life. It can run your life if you don't know how to use it, how to control it, and how to really integrate it into your being.
I think most people go with a strategy to everything what you think converts into action, and action converts into results. So the saying goes, if you want to change your results, you should change your thinking.
Yes.
I think the missing paradigm is there's something that influences your thinking, which is pain, or should I say emotions. Yeah, whatever that emotion might be, happy, joyous, I get that. Okay. Sure.
And you are a very strong man. And a lot of times you can look at me and say, ek weet. And a lot of times you can look at me and say, but think. And a lot of times I will say to you, think and link. But remember that I've taught all of us now that red brain. Ooh, that red brain, that crisis, that survival brain. That is like the puppet master. And once that red brain switches on, the other 2 go into submission mode. And the red brain and the orange brain part, they tango, and then it turns into a foxtrot, and then it can even go into a full-blown rave party. And then that green area has no more space to think clearly or to tell them to calm down, because once these 2 start to tango, it's a whole new ball game. So trauma locks in the body, but it all starts in the brain. So trauma means wound, and trauma means unresolved. And my perception to something that has happened to me is then deemed as trauma. So something that you might feel is unpleasant, I might look and think, it's not so bad. But every person is different. And I would really like in this section to recommend to the viewers to take their children, and it is December month, go and watch a movie called Inside Out. It was written by neuroscientists. My son and I, there's 2, we watch it all the time. And that is the best way, even myself as a therapist and as an adult, really understood how the brain works and why I then went to this little picture. Because if you truly understand your upbringing, the memories, situations you go through, things that happen in your life, how it locks in your brain. And that movie, that animated movie explains it 100%. So everybody's got homework for the holidays. Take your children, make some popcorn and watch Inside Out. Now that I've explained to you, we've got the neocortex, the Francois side, the green side. I want to redeneer alles uit. We are now going to really focus today on the limbic system. Now, you know, and the viewers know that I take my silent time, my quiet time, my time where I connect to myself, where I connect to the Creator. I take that in the mornings when I shower. I bath at night, but in the mornings, in the shower, as I become still, as I connect, I get a lot of messages. And this morning's message was very clear. And there were two distinct messages, and I'm going to try my utmost best to translate it into English. I'm going to say it in Afrikaans, and then you help me to translate it. The first information that I received, the first message was, ondersoek alle dinge, maar behou die goeie.
So for our English viewers, it's in pretty much the Bible verse, which I'll get now, is you can try and pursue all, but preserve the goodness or the great. Let me just get that quick.
So ondersoek alle dinge, maar behou die goeie. It is all right to investigate. But whatever you investigate, take what is good for you. Take what is a positive contribution in your life and then integrate that into your life without judgment, but with discernment. That is how I perceived that. Then the next message came through to me saying, Aldila, when sitting with a choice or when introduced to something different or new, ask yourself two questions. In me now, choosing to do this, drink this, eat this, whatever this, am I hurting myself or harming myself, or am I hurting or harming another? So those two questions for me, and you asked something very powerful before we started, and I don't think this is the podcast for that, but you remember you asked me, why do women do a certain thing? And then I looked at you and I said, because there's a spectrum, and I always ask myself when I watch something or do something or read something, whatever I choose to do, I say to myself, ondersoek alle dinge, maar behou die goeie. And second of all, this that I'm going to do now, this that I'm going to research, this that I'm going to dive into, am I going to harm myself or am I going to harm another? And in me asking that, you always have your preacher that says, whatever you do, if you find something good, claim it as Christian. For me, that is the same. Anything you choose in life to pursue, perceive, or do, if it is a positive contribution, follow that energy. And in today's talk, I want to go into the world of emotions. I want us to pursue the world of emotions with a very open mind, knowing now that the brain has three very distinct areas, and knowing that I have a nervous system, and every time I have a thought, it invokes an emotion, and that emotion sends hormones to my body locks and reacts, and my reptilian brain wakes up and it wants to protect me with fight, flight, or freeze. So that's a netedop of the last three podcasts, and now we're going to dive very deep into the world of emotions, because emotion is currently running the show, and I would really like us to understand emotions. And that's why I was instructed this morning to bring you station journey number 9. It's called kind.
So before we go further, I just want to introduce this concept to everybody so that they can just follow what's happening. So you started a mentor course. I know you keep on saying this, and I see it where you like to empower people. But the intention is so that people can self-medicate them later, and that's the meaning by you empower them with knowledge and practical ways to apply this aromatherapy so that you can result in healing in a certain way. So Aldila Dr. Aldila has written a book called When the Fairy Tale Shatters, and the next book, which was written based on this journey on a train when she was at that point in her life. She realized she's going to take that same symbol concept and use it as a model to teach people onto healing. So the idea was to create a train ride that you subscribe to, and then every week you handle one trauma session, and then you call that trauma session a train station, and then you title it, and she's actually titled all her medicine based on the emotion that you want to acquire in this process. So we are at station number 9, and that station is called?
Kind.
Yes. Okay.
And what makes it very interesting is kind is in Afrikaans called kind,
which is translated to child. Yeah.
And where does most traumas lock?
when you're young.
in childhood.
Yes.
So that we go through actually locks in our body. So you and I have 43 children at the moment, or 43 inner children locked in our bodies that we need to work with. So what Embark is about, it's a tool. It's a tool. The oil is one of the tools, but the empowerment, the knowledge, and knowing what I must do, how I must use my green brain, how I must help my orange brain, and how I must CTFD calm down my red brain, will ultimately support my body in releasing the trauma in a safe space while I'm enjoying the journey of this life. That's what it's about. Okay. So now we are going to look at the limbic system of the brain, and we're going to go why, and we're going to understand emotions. So every week in the practice, these exciting things happen, and I have to now be very anonymous. Read between the lines. Okay. So something happened in the practice this week where I had to support a patient in releasing sexual abuse from her body. Now, I do this all the time. This is one of my main stations that we stop at. Station number 12 or station number 9. Kind, because it happens mostly when you're a child. And then the endofem Embark number 12 is for the female reproductive system. And I just experienced something so potent this week. I experienced the emotion and the vibration called shame. The person, and I do not like the word victim, because a victim doesn't have a choice, and I do not enjoy that word. It doesn't sit well in my body. My ancestors came over the Drakensbergs with ox wagons, so we will fight this, and that's what I teach my clients, my patients. So the person that has had the experience of the sexual abuse then comes to me, and it locked in the body. How did it lock in the body? Severe problems with periods, severe problems with cystic fibrosis, cysts on the ovaries, an absence of the menstrual cycle, very, very bad skin, acne, a lot of constipation or problem with the inflammation of the bowel or the gut. So the minute someone comes to me with a physical ailment and they are on my bed in the healing room and they say to me, this hurts or it pains there, or I struggle with my gut, I immediately know that sexual trauma and abuse locks in that area, in that center. And we're going to really discuss all of these things in the coming months. But I want to stop at the station of the emotions today. And there's a doctor called Dr. Hawkins, Dr. David R. Hawkins. And he did something very interesting, Francois. He made a table that measures frequency in hertz. And he took various emotions and he measured emotions in hertz. And a body that is dead, deceased, has a frequency or hertz of 0. So that's death. So the frequency of death that has been measured scientifically, you are a man of frequency, you understand how it works. Frequency of death is 0. And Dr. Hawkins went and he said, right, I'm going to take all of these emotions that are common in life and I'm going to start measuring their frequency. And as he did it, he then did his scale of consciousness that he did his PhD on. And when I was working this morning and I was in the show and I was hearing all of the information about investigate all things, but keep that is good for you as a contribution. And when you look at things in life, ask yourself, in reading this, am I harming myself? Am I harming another? What is the toolbox? How can I empower myself? How can I be happy? The vibration of shame that I felt in that healing room just made me realize this information needs to get out. And if you go for me on this beautiful, beautiful picture, Asuma got it off Pinterest. Look at the bottom emotion. So just under that is death. And when a person is in my healing room on the bed and they have been sexually abused, that is the emotion that consumes them. So the trauma has locked in the southern hemisphere, and the physical ailment is bowel obstructions or gut issues or bladder issues or female issues or male issues. But the emotion that is the blanket is shame and humiliation. And I have to work with that. I have to teach that person that what happened to you is not your fault. You are not responsible for what an adult did to you. And every single person lying on my bed looks at me and says, number 30, I blame myself. I feel guilty because I enjoyed it. I feel guilty because I allowed it. I feel humiliated. It's my fault. Why didn't I say no? And it's a very deep topic. We're very deep in now, but it happened this week, and then it gets pressed onto my heart, and I get told, you have to talk about it. You have to have the hard conversations, like Dr. Brené Brown always says, have a hard conversation. And a hard conversation doesn't mean I'm talking loudly to you. A hard conversation means it's hard to talk about this, and a lot of people might get triggered, but we have to look at our emotional state, and we have to understand that the trauma locks in the body, and if the emotion that gets locked with that is called shame and humiliation, your body is going to vibrate at a hertz of 20. And how can you be healthy and prosperous and calm and enjoying life if you are vibrating at 20 to 30 hertz when you're close to death?
Interestingly enough, that low frequencies can't be heard by our ear. You can feel it though.
In your body.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So normally you feel somebody is sad. You can actually sense it. Okay. Interesting.
So I then went further, and I want you to say, I want you to say the Bible verse for me. But, you know, in the Bible, they talk about the fruits of the Spirit. Then they talk of the fruits of the flesh. Because it's important for me as a researcher, as a scientific-based person that is also very spiritually linked, to bring the two worlds together so that people may not listen to me in fear, so that they may have a frame of reference to know that if I look at the fruits of the Spirit, it is the top part of this frequency table I'm showing you.
That's very interesting. Can I read it to you?
Yes.
It's actually in Galatians 5 and the New King James Version that we're reading. Oh, there we go. Very interesting. It's verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit, the fruits of the Spirit, let me just quickly welcome our friend. Let's quickly have a look here. But the fruits of the Spirit is love, joy, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness. I don't know. Meekness. Meekness.
Weakness is good.
Yeah, weakness is fine. Meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, let's have a look at there on top of the chart.
Can I read for you?
So, wait, there's more, actually. Verse 19. So, now the works of the flesh are manifested, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness. Oh my.
Lavishness.
Yeah, that one. Adultery, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envying, murders, drunkenness, Okay.
Goed.
This is a moment, eh?
Yes, because to me it was amazing that I can bring the two together, as the scientist in me also loves the spiritual connection of the two. And I want to make us very aware of this beautiful illustration, because if you look at this beautiful illustration, in the middle, there's a line. It's a fine line. You know, life's got fine lines. And if you look at 200 and 175, look at the two words that are there where the line is drawn. The one is pride and scorn when you're a demanding person. And just above that, courage and empowerment starts. And what do we need? What is the one true characteristic or tool or something that we need to go and fetch deep within ourselves when we want to change? Courage. It's like that serenity prayer that they make you say on those Alcoholic Anonymous. You know that 28 Days movie from Sandra Bullock? God grant me the wisdom to accept the things I cannot change, to change the thing I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Courage.
I noticed this little section on the left. So at the bottom, normally people that, I want to call it complain.
Victims.
Life happens to me. And then life happens because of me. And then on the third section at the bottom left, life happens in me. That's your weak force table. So courage. So that's measured at 200 feet. Okay, got it.
It's amazing. So we're going to go now and we're going to dive into these emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because no emotion is bad. And I explained something to you last week and I'm going to explain it now.
Okay.
I said to you, Winston Churchill had depression. He struggled a lot with his emotions. And he would refer to his depression as his black dog. And he said, I walk a journey and my black dog walks with me. And do you see all of these emotions on this chart?
Yeah, I do.
None of these emotions should be judged. There is a difference. I heard this very clearly this morning when I asked. There is a very big difference between judgment and discernment. Onderskei. Discern. Ondersoek. Investigate. Okay. So all of these emotions that you see here, all of these frequencies are present in our daily life, in our body, in other people, in everything we do. Everything is frequency, everything is energy, everything can be measured. So look at anger, for example. Anger, hate, 150. Now a lot of people say, no, you mustn't be angry, you mustn't hate. So when I'm angry, and angry is actually quite high up. Life happens in me. So when I get angry, that anger is a messenger saying to me, either an injustice is taking place, I need to take a stand. Either I'm letting things walk over me, I need to put a boundary. Or it's saying to me, something inside of me is telling me something's got to change. So now what we tend to do because of our upbringing, great respect to our parents, but they also didn't know better. I take my anger and I swallow my anger. Where does my anger go to, Francois? My liver. So the liver, according to the research, is the storehouse, the powerhouse for anger. So unresolved anger, trauma means wound that is unresolved. So unresolved anger that I do not walk with like my black dog, that I do not look at, that I do not acknowledge, that I do not discern, that I just put in the corner because anger is bad for me, cardboard me. That anger now gets swallowed and it locks in the liver. And then people ask me, why did that angry person die of liver cancer? And then I, as a therapist, have to go, it's unresolved emotions. It's unresolved trauma. That orange center in the brain does not know how to process. The limbic system, the red reptilian system goes, we are in trouble, we are in trouble, we are in trouble. And now your green brain says, it's not right to get angry. And we swallow. And as we swallow, it locks in the body and we get ill. And through illness, this body says, you are radiating at a frequency of 150. Please take courage. Please embrace. Please take this anger, do something good with it, see it for what it is, let it run through you, use your tools, use your oils, be empowered, have the knowledge, let it run through you, do with it as you should. It is your tool, let it go, let it flow, and then raise your frequency into courage, trust, optimism, acceptance, forgiveness, understanding, love. So I want to really play at the bottom part today, because nobody wants to go there. And remember I said to you last week, if your young'un, your child, if he loses his clutch or he has a meltdown, because he's got how old is he?
He's now 2 years old.
And he's got
1 year and 8 months,
so
9 months.
his brain is not even 2. So
Sure.
he's got an underdeveloped nervous system. He doesn't know how to handle all of these emotions and frequencies. Now, what do we as parents do? We were not taught how to deal with our own emotions and frequencies. So the minute your 2-year-old goes, wah, your 2-year-old Francois goes, wah. And these two start a power struggle. Now, as the parent, as the father, as the adult, you need to go, okay, lovey, what you are experiencing now is anger and frustration. Papa acknowledges it. I can see it for what it is. What would you like to do? So either we then have wonderful techniques with little 2-year-olds to help them to get the anger out. And obviously, as they grow up and they get to my son's age now, we can talk it through, but we still need to do things about it. And I said to you, Francois, if your little one now loses it and he exerts any of these lower vibrational emotions, are you going to kick him? Are you going to let him sleep outside in the doghouse? Are you going to reject your child? And you looked at me and you said, never. I will go on my knees, I'll make eye contact with him, and I'll say, come to Papa. And what you explained to me in that moment is what I want to explain to the viewers today. This is how you should treat these emotions on the bottom side of the scale, because these emotions can only be converted, released, integrated and processed with courage, and then you can take the top part of the chart and you can change them, you can integrate them with love. And remember last time in our podcast I said to you, there's only 2 vibrations, Francois. There's only 2. There's love and fear. And if you look at this amazing chart and you look at that piece you read for us, the top part of the chart is all about love. Life is me. Life happens through me. Life happens for me. What does the Creator say? Do you know the Creator has another name as well? The Creator is called I Am. I am enlightenment. I am peace. I am joy. I am love. I am understanding. I am in acceptance. So if you look at the bottom part of the chart, it says there, life happens to me, I'm a victim. Life happens because of me, I have an ego. Life happens in me, it's what I feel inside and I can't process my emotions. Once we have the courage and the empowerment to love ourselves, to love our shadow side, to love the dark side enough, for these emotions at the bottom helps us to move. What did you say about Mr. Metsi? What's his name?
Kitsi.
Dankie. Pain creates drive,
yeah.
But the pain mustn't go on for 672 kilometers.
Yeah. I'm watching this now and I'm thinking to myself, the medical world is starting to show signs of misunderstanding through this stuff.
I know.
And this is more a diagnostics dashboard chart that indicates pretty much what might be the root cause. Because this also suggests to me that thoughts makes you sick.
Yes. Thoughts will make you sick, but
Or
if my
healthy.
red brain is constantly running,
Oh, I get you. That's what you're actually treating. Oh, okay.
because you can't hear me when you're in fight and flight.
Sure.
You can't redeneer properly when you're in fight and flight. You can't think properly. You cannot manage your emotions
Sure.
when you're in fight and flight.
So, that brings me to the topic of emotional intelligence, but we'll touch on that some other time, I think. What's interesting is that your work became such a wide scope of discoveries because where you actually went into... I'm just trying to figure what it must have felt like for you being... I think with what you bring to the table, sometimes I've sensed that you felt misunderstood by other doctors. And we spoke about the doctor that actually said to you, you should protect this. And I think, why would he say that to you? Obviously, you were offended by that in some form or way because you actually had the need to get this out there because you discovered this through your channels. And the more you guys talk about it, I can see how the other people normally get lit up by this because, they've been practicing medicine for 20, 30 years. Everybody knows that you go to the operation table to assist and facilitate people to get them out of comas. And so I think that got me interested in listening to you because you've got a very broad understanding what the body does in an operation environment or designated environment. So and this is something I can understand. I really so we spoke about our sense frequencies as a portion of the healing process is to change and alternate that frequency. And this is something I also have been wondering about. What tells your brain to kick in your nervous system? Because the one big problem, and you've mentioned this on the previous podcast, the new, I think we called it the new condition of the century is burnout.
Good. I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure.
Let's look at the chart. I have got grief. My mother passed away. So my frequency is currently between 50 and 75. Is a pill going to help for that? Honestly. Is a pill going to take the grief that I have lost someone very close to me? Is that pill going to fix that grief?
Just quickly, I've noticed the baby boomers struggle with that. Mm-hmm. They thought stand up, man up, move on, get over it.
They are the swallowers. So why you see all of the illnesses in the baby boomers today, all of the autoimmune diseases, all of the cancers, all of those type of illnesses is because they swallowed. So instead of saying, yes, I am angry, what can I do about it? Yes, I have grief, what can I do about it? They just go, no, I must be a man about it. I will swallow and I will make like it doesn't exist. I'll put my dog in the corner and I'll carry on with my life. What you don't address, you will repress. And what you repress and do not address will lock in your body and you will never have success. I'm a poet and I don't even know it.
Sure.
So the more I swallow and lock and don't acknowledge the bottom part of the chart, the more the illness, the chronic illness is going to hurt me. I have got the biggest respect and reverence for the medical field because I worked there and I have got a lot of respect. I have seen how they care and what they can do. I have got only good things to say, especially at the facility where I was really allowed. It was an honor for me to serve the community there, and I still serve the community there when I'm requested to be at present. But for me, if I break my arm physically, Francois, they need to fix my arm. the doctor needs to either put a pin in or a screw in, and I need an operation. If my appendix is now going to burst, I need that surgeon to help me immediately. Please tell me how to medically remove grief from a body. Tell me. If you can tell me today, I'm going to sit and lie still. How do you remove rape from a body? How do you remove betrayal from a body? How do you remove injustice from a body? Makail. And that is my passion. So there's place for all of us on the planet. And when that doctor came to me and he said to me, I know you're teaching everyone all of this. He didn't offend me. He ignited my flame. Because he came to me and he said to me, he was concerned. He said, I'm so concerned, you're teaching everybody your IP, your intellectual property. Do you think you should share all your secrets with them? And the minute he said it to me, I immediately went on this beautiful picture, and I went, okay, he has got fear and anxiety. So he's frightened. I understand. Okay, doctor, he cares about me. And he's fearing that I am now going to live a life of loss, because if I share my gifts or what I've taught and I teach other people, then I might have less. So that fear, anxiety there, that's called lack mentality. That's called I am afraid. I do not want other people to also have what I have. So the minute he said it to me, I did not take it personally, because I could immediately identify, okay, he just feels fear on my behalf. And I didn't take it personally. And I looked at him and I said, you know what, doctor? You see these ones? You see these babies? I only have 2. You see this mouth? It's a big one. I'm going to use her. I cannot help everybody every day and work 17 hours normal car like that. I can't. My body is going to go into burnout. But the more people I can help, support, empower, inspire to understand this easy concept in the way I raise my child, in the way I teach in a kleuterskooltjie, in the way that I'm a teacher, people who work with other people, if they all know what to do, the world, and I know it sounds so corny, but the world is going to be a better place when we can understand the emotional side of our wellness.
It's very interesting to see the scope of understanding to serve a sick person. I can honestly say it was what was it, station number, can't remember, 2 or 11, composure
7.
Okay. I must honestly say, I think there's such a fine line with this understanding. Like, you really need to know what you're feeling to know what you need. And anxiety, I think, you don't want to create an environment where people keep on reminding you what you are feeling and telling you. I mean, that will just upset the living. Where are we? They will bring me down to
between
150 hertz right there.
Yes, 100. Okay. Actually, 175 is where fear and anxiety is. But I want to say something to you. Let's go back to number 200. You've got to feel it to heal it. You said something to me before we recorded. You said, I wish X, Y, and Z could come to you. What were my words to you? They have to be willing. Look at willingness. 310. I will never ever work on a patient that does not have the frequency of willingness, because it's not going to work. If you are not radiating at a frequency of 310, where I can say, I'm willing to feel, I'm willing to heal, I'm willing to come to you, I'm willing to sniff the oils, I'm willing to listen to this podcast, I'm willing to let go of certain things, then you and I will not put our spitvirks there, and we'll get to that talk.
I actually want to share something with you. I can remember, look, I've been in the music industry all my life. Pretty much I was born on a dance floor. My father used to play in bands all his life. So, and being there and being very optimistic of me becoming a musician, I was allowed to sing 1 or 2 songs, and people used to send around a hat, and I'll get paid for the night, day's work or whatever. I can remember, especially in the nightclub industry or house music, that environments, how people respond to certain octaves of music and the actual. You manage energy, man. That's what you're doing. You really making people feeling good by the sounds of vibration. I mean, I'm purely Christian, and I don't throw this stuff away. And again, if it's true, claim it as Christian. I've witnessed a lot of things through vibration. And the theorists, look, there's four sections in the belief world. There's panism, ortheism, atheism, monism. So monism means one God. So it's actually said that you can actually subcategorize it, because that's not what we believe in. And for what it's worth, I mean, the adjustment of light is a frequency change. When you build certain rooms, you build it so that it can resonate, which has got to do with certain frequencies. We resonate with each other's. I'm starting to understand a few things in my own little lost worlds of how things work, and I've really, really witnessed this oils to change something in me. I've had a lot of pressure this past months with parents, being sick, and us running their institutions as well. Becomes really demanding, and then you sit with all that emotions from people that's concerned, and you need to basically man up and take over. And I've felt my cortisol levels has been through the roof. You've picked that up, though.
Yes.
Okay.
So for me, I want us to dive into this, and you as a green brain person is the perfect candidate sitting across me saying, I understand what you're saying, yeah, Aldi. I understand frequency. This is not airy-fairy. This is science. And ultimately, what I came to realize is what you resist will persist. Mm. But what you let flow will go. And there's one specific frequency I'm working at the moment within myself. And that is number 350. Which says life happens through me, and that is acceptance or forgiveness. Now, the quicker we can accept something, the resistance to what is creating the bottom part. So when I resist what is, those bottom frequencies activate. But the minute I can calm my nervous system, I can tell the red brain to please relax. I can regulate the orange brain. Then my perception, my way of thinking, my thought pattern can then be changed. And I can now go into a state of talking to myself through my thoughts. Now, I don't know, I'm going to explain this to you and you help me through this. But when you drive and you pass a field, and as you pass the field, there's this little foot pathway, this little pathway in the field where you can see a lot of people have walked on that pathway. It's especially in our country, very general. I understand the brain like that. And I always explain this to my patients because they would now ask me the question you are asking me, but can my thinking make me sick? And how am I going to play there at the top parts of, and that's why you are on the train, because we do all types of tools to put you into the vibration of these beautiful things, and then I teach you how to go to the bottom part and integrate them up. But I want to explain to everybody how our brain and thought pattern in the green section of the brain works. So you drive past that little field and you see that little path where they were walking. Now our brain works exactly like a field. Our brain is a field, and every thought makes a little neural pathway. And every time I have a repetitive thought or a repetitive pattern, I am walking on that little pathway over and over and over again. Because what do you do with your young? And you go, dankie, papa, thank you, papa, yes, mama, no, mama, come here. So what are we doing with our children? We are teaching them. So the brain works on repetitive motion. So if a patient comes to me and for 30 years, they told themselves every day, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. Imagine how deep is that pathway in the field. I then have to help them to bring down the red brain. I have to put the red brain to sleep. I have to teach them to regulate their orange brain. And only after I've done that, with their daily implementation of the Embarks, they can now go and say, I'm changing station lines. You know how the train changes? Exactly, the brain works exactly the same way. So I'm on the train of I'm not good enough. Ek is op die spoor. Please tell me that in English. I'm on that railway, that rail, the rail of I'm not good enough. Now I have to do that switch the conductor does, and the train must change lanes. I am good enough. I am good enough. I am good enough. It's going to take a while for the grass to grow over that 43-year-old thought pattern. And that is why we have to be very strong and courageous to go, every time I have that negative thought, I have to say to myself, it's only a thought and a thought can be changed. Let me change my lane. Awareness and courage. But I cannot do that if my limbic system and my vagus nerve and my reptilian brain is running. And that is why you use this, so that all of that can calm down, so that I can then start working cognitively on the way that I think, on my perceptions, on the things that I do and say.
Very interesting. Gaan ons afsluit?
Ja.
Okay.
Is jy happy?
Ja, dis baie. So tot waar het ons nou gekom?
Ja, ons het hom goed. Ek het gesê wat ek wou sê.
Okay, so wat het jy nou alles daar?
Wat het ek nou alles hierso? So you're asking me what I'm holding in my hand, am I right?
Yeah, what do you have there?
My treasures.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought number 9 for you.
Mm-hmm.
Kind. I want you to be kinder to yourself.
Thank you.
I want you to look at the bottom part of the chart, and I want you to look at all those emotions and frequencies with kindness, not with judgment, not with harshness, not to swallow them, not to put them in the corner, but with an energy, space, and consciousness of kindness. And when I can have kindness, I can be willing enough to work through that bottom part. And then, with acceptance and forgiveness, my reason and understanding will kick in, and my life will become meaningful. And then I just brought these two with for me, which is Embark number 12, it's the Endo-Fem, and Embark number 26, the Equalize, which was the one for the sexual abuse. So I brought it with me because I had to work through that for that patient, and the shame that has to release. So she's going to use these two for the next 31 days, and her body is going to do the process that it knows what to do. I've shown her the techniques, the switches. She's going to do the vagus technique. She's going to roll on her elixir every day, and she's going to continue her treatment with me, and we are going to calm down that red brain, and we are going to calm down that orange brain. And once I have got that under control, I can then start talking to her, teaching her to go into the top part of the chart, to say, I am no more a victim. It's not my fault. I'm not ashamed anymore. What happened didn't happen to me. Life is in me.
I sometimes think, how do you handle all this trauma yourself? It's secondhand trauma all the way. I guess you get used to what you have and you get excited because you know what's happening. Is there a mental state? How do you find your energy to go down at some point? So how do you maintain yourself, if I may ask that? Because you know what? I see this especially under attorneys. Attorneys has a guilt problem sometimes. I experience it. Well, ego, call it what you want, but nobody has shared any course after they've done their training how to deal with your emotions.
Hence the reason for the birth of Embark. Because I worked in the hospital and I saw what all those doctors, all those nurses, all the caregivers were going through, all of the psychologists. So for me, I endeavor to resonate between 400 and 500. So reasoning, understanding, love, and reverence. Now, for me, I have learned to love myself. I love myself. I hold myself in high regard. And how do I do that? Think of last week's podcast. All of those tools I gave on bringing your cortisol down, looking after your body, self-care. So I put my self-care very, very high on the table. Now, I believe we are all born for mine's not a career. What's mine?
Mission.
Yeah. I believe we are all sent to earth with a mission, and we all have different gifts and talents. So it's not difficult for me. What I'm doing is like breathing. I don't know how to explain it. It gives me energy, and it's not me doing the work. I'm not doing anything. I'm witnessing miracles the whole day. So I love the patient enough. I love myself enough. I love Creator enough. And I can feel sometimes how I just get told, get out of the way, let me do my work. And then I get out of the way and I just hold the space for that patient, and I love that body enough. And I can see how, look at my goosebumps, I can see how that body that was divinely created by the Creator knows exactly what to do because it feels safe, it feels calm, it feels supported, and it feels connected. And in that moment, I just stand there in awe. I stand there in awe and I witness what this body and Creator is doing. And I just feel so blessed that I can stand there and I can witness it and I can see it and I can write about it and I can talk about it. So it's not difficult for me. It comes very naturally. It's like breathing. It's not me doing the work. But I am a human. I am an infinite soul having a human experience. So I get tired. And there's a lot of things happening outside of this gift. So I have to run a business. I'm a mother. I have parents. I have friends. There's relationships. So I've learned to do self-care. I do the cortisol therapy on myself every day. Once a week, I go to my coach. She's a life coach for therapists. So once a week I go to her and I have a debriefing session and I tell her everything that I have witnessed and heard and what the patients have gone through, because it is upsetting. But I also know that everything that happens to us is our soul contract with a higher power, and I've got nothing to do with it. All I can do is be the energy, space, and consciousness of love. And thank you that I can witness it, and thank you that I might write about it, and thank you that I might talk about it, and that gives me my energy to shine my light.
So, just interesting enough, one of the conversations we had off record was the conversation around confidentiality. And I actually just want to share this with the viewers so that they can understand, like, any human needs to share emotion.
You must debrief.
This is pretty much done in a constructive way where you guys talk about your experience with whatever. There's no names mentioned and all of that, so it's very safe. I'm just always so amazed with what comes out from this, and I just never realized how much of a big topic trauma healing is. And now, from a man's point of view, it's like sometimes we don't feel like this. Come on, please, I don't feel like the drama and I feel so sorry for myself stuff, you know. Just roll. And but it's very interesting to understand it. I had to make an effort to do this. I really didn't feel like going into the depthness of why people feel sad and all of that, and I must say I've had a paradigm shift on understanding myself and my wife better, because she's been grieving for quite some time, and I've actually witnessed some of the stuff we spoke here, and I'm just like, you're gonna have to make a decision somewhere now to get out of this. This is like, it is how it is, and the obvious, your mom doesn't want you to feel this way. I think a lot of people feel that, a parent, especially when a parent goes, that parent doesn't want you to be sad. I think I've never realized how selfish that is to say that.
Yeah, because the body needs to go through a process, Francois, and grief takes 2 years.
Yeah.
The body needs 2 years to go through it. And if you look at, I want you to look at number 310.
So empathy, where does empathy fall?
It comes by 400, understanding, reason and understanding. So to have the understanding that, yes, if I do not heal my wounds, I will bleed on the people who never cut me in the first place. So obviously I'm going through a process.
Say that again.
If I do not heal my wounds, I will bleed on the people who never cut me in the first place.
That is very nice.
Yes, I would actually love...
Say that one more time.
Ek gaan. If you do not heal your wounds, you will bleed. Let me say it again.
Please do. Pause. Go.
If you do not heal your wounds, you will bleed on the people who never cut you in the first place. And I'm going to ask that at the end of this podcast, that you put the video, attach the 10-minute video where I was on ENCA live TV with Mr. Dan Moyane a few months ago. It was such an experience. And he called me and he wanted me to talk about generational trauma and why the country is in the state it's in and why there's so much abuse in households. And on that national TV, 10 minutes, it was amazing. I said to him, Mr. Moyane, if we do not heal our wounds, we will bleed on the people who never cut us in the first place. Hou vas. Your wound is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So we have to allow people to go through their processes. And a lot of times when they are stuck in the red center of grief, and they are stuck in the emotions, it's very difficult to get them out. So a lot of times what I do is I'll just give them the grief oil. It's called Grace. That's the grief oil. And they just start using it and they just start rolling it just so that that body can get out of the fight and flight and the lock. And grief locks in the heart. So if grief locks in the heart, I want you to really think about once you've been to a funeral of someone you've really loved. A week or 2 weeks later, that the people that are family, they all get flu or bronchitis. I've seen it 5 years every time in the practice. After they've lost someone they love, 2 weeks later, there's a lung ailment or something happens to their heart. They either get heart palpitations or they start with panic attacks or something happens to the heart. They have to go for heart surgery or they need a pacemaker or they need to burn a little heart senuweekie. Broken heart syndrome is actually now being accepted by heart doctors, by cardiologists, because that grief hits so deep. It's so painful that no pill or anything can heal it. But how are we going to get that person through the next 2 years, Francois?
So we could probably discuss this on the next time. I'm just wondering, why are we so much more sensitive? Trauma is becoming...
What makes you think that we are more sensitive? The generation that raised us just all went to the army and swallowed. They are worse than us. Go listen to Mike and the Mechanics. Every generation blames the one before. So we haven't gone more sensitive. We've just become more open. We've become more courageous. We've become more brave. Thank you for technology. We can more easily talk about it. Our ancestors, our omas, our opas, our parents, they really have gone through hell. And the reason I can see it is I can look at their health. When I look at the state of their health, I can see how they have not worked on themselves. They did not heal their wounds, hence bleeding on themselves and the people who never cut them. And their wounds was not their fault, but they never took responsibility for the healing.
Yeah. Thank you. I think we're going to wrap this up for today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all our viewers today for tuning in. We would really like to get some of your comments on the comment sections below. Please comment. Tell us what you think. If you've got questions, I'll also put Aldila, Dr. Aldila Geldenhuis' website, abwellness.co.za, where you can read a little bit more about what she does. And you've got a website for your oil treatments as well?
I do, aldila.co.za.
We'll put it at the
My
comment
very
section.
good friend reserved it for me.
So beautifully. So, yeah. Guys, thank you very much. Have a good one. Till next time, all the best. Let's have...
Your wound is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility.
Cheers.
Shorts.
That's a nice saying. I'm going to use that.
Hulle weet nie wat ons weet nie.